All right, what's going on, everybody? Robbie here, and welcome to week number 5 of the masterclass here in Project Platinum. And before we begin, guys, let me know in the chat and let me know in the question box if you guys are excited and ready to rock and roll today for week number 5, because we have an exciting action-packed week in store for you guys today, because we're going to be launching campaigns, which is what we've been looking for, right? The moment we've all been waiting for. So I'm excited to have you guys here, excited to get this going. And I know it's going to be an awesome time together. So before we begin, guys, let me know in the chat, in the question box. I know I always say chat, guys, but it's actually the question box. Let me know if you can hear me just fine, if you're excited, and if you're ready to rock and roll today. Wow, look at all those people saying yes. Awesome. Love that. Great. Well, I'm excited, guys. You should be excited because, like I said, today we're covering a lot of stuff, a lot of awesome stuff when it comes to everything we're doing here in Project Platinum. And one of the main things that you guys wanted to learn was how to actually launch campaigns on Facebook. And so we're going to do that today in part number 1 of this week's masterclass. Don't forget, later on, there's part number 2. We're going to be going over YouTube training with Coach Mariah. And in between, there'll be a 10 to 15 minute intermission. And so hopefully you guys have been enjoying the last couple of weeks together. I know I have, I know the coaches have, and I know that it's been awesome to see the feedback. People are loving the tools and everything like that. So really excited about that, guys. And I appreciate you sticking with us here each and every week. And I'm going to tell you, because the reason why you want to do that is because it's going to make a big difference in your long-term success. Okay. You got to see it through. And keep on pushing, right? So really excited about that. A couple quick housekeeping things before we begin. Number 1, guys, this is obviously week number 5. We're doing 6 total weeks, right? So this is the second to last week of the Project Platinum Masterclass, and hopefully you guys have been enjoying it so far. The way the Masterclass works, if you haven't been with us for the past couple of weeks, which God forbid, that is hopefully not true. Hopefully you've been with us all 5 weeks so far. But the way it works, guys, is the first part of the Masterclass, we're covering Facebook, right? Helping you guys launch your Facebook campaigns. Then there'll be a 10 to 15 minute, kind of intermission, so to speak. And then we head into the second part, which is going to be the YouTube Masterclass. Now, one of the biggest questions I've seen throughout the whole couple weeks we've had together, which is crazy because I wish I had $1 for every time someone said this, but everyone says, Robbie, is there a replay? Like, I have to go to work. Is there a replay? Is there a replay? Robbie, is there a replay? And the answer is yes, there's a replay, guys, right? You can find the replay in 2 places. Number 1, it can be in the Facebook group in the guide section, right? So you go to the menu of the Facebook group, click on guides, and it's in there. Okay. All the past ones are in there. Obviously, week number 5 is not in there yet because, well, we're doing it right now. Okay. So, but they're in there. The second place you can find it is in your membership area, right? In the membership area, you can do that and then just go to where it says Masterclass on the top left. You click on that and you can check out all the replays. And oh, actually, there's a third place. It's actually in the app as well. So if you download the app on your phone, which if you haven't yet, you need to because it's awesome. And on the app, that is where you're going to find those masterclass replays as well. So there's 3 places. You can't go wrong. So not only is there a replay in one spot, but 3 places. Okay. So that hopefully clears things up, because I know on the past couple of weeks has been like the number 1 question, which is like so crazy to me because of course we're going to do replay, right? We wouldn't do that to you where we don't have a replay. Okay. And also, guys, before we even begin, let me go ahead and bring on my special guest here for the past couple of weeks and part of the 6-week masterclass and part of Project Platinum, Coach Stephanie. Coach Stephanie, are you there?
I sure am. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me again. I'm really excited. I'm really excited about today because we are launching campaigns today. So yes, I'm here. Hello. I'm so excited to be with y'all.
Awesome. So yeah, guys. So we covered a lot of stuff over the past couple of weeks. And so let's kind of go over just a quick recap of some of the things that we covered here. So so one of the things we covered, obviously, in week number 1, we talked about mindset. We talked about the software. And hopefully by now you guys are familiar with everything that we've covered. Also, we talked about week number 2, how to set up your Facebook Business Manager, your ad account, your warming up process, how to get that ready to go. Week number 3, we talked about setting up your landing pages, your domains, your affiliate links. And then last week, we talked about creating your first Facebook ad, right? And so when we talk about that, it's like getting your ad copy ready to go, getting your creative ready to go, because that's a really important part. And so we covered all that stuff, guys. And now if you have not gone back and watched the past weeks on the replays, please make sure you do, because a lot of times the first time you watch something, you will kind of hear it, but the second time you watch it, you will understand it, right? And it's so important to go back and watch that, okay? And then today we're talking about launching your first conversion campaign. So that's what we're going to be going over today when it comes to what we're covering. So guys, let me know in the chat, type in launch or give me that rocket ship emoji, right? If you guys are ready to launch your first conversion campaign, I want to see those rocket ships because we're about to launch a conversion campaign. Another word for that is a sales campaign to help you get up and running and make some sales here so you can be on your way to Project Platinum or ClickBank Platinum, right? So awesome. Cool. I see all the emojis coming into the chat here. That's awesome. I love that.
Love it.
Yeah, this is great. So yeah, exactly. So Coach Stephanie, do you want to jump into it? Let's get going.
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, awesome. So you guys, we are ready. I'm going to actually take you live into Facebook and to my business manager, and we are going to launch a campaign. Okay, so I am going to jump into my other browser here. So let's just make sure I can do that. And are you seeing this, Robbie, yet?
Yep, got it.
Cool. Okay. So what I'm going to do here is actually let's close this out. And I am going to go into where I would be in my campaign. So let me just kind of make this a bigger screen here for you. Awesome. Okay. So basically, remember when we first start a campaign, you want to go into your business manager. So I'm already in my business manager. I've logged into my business manager. So when you are in the business manager, you want to go into your ad accounts and you want to start in your campaign tab, right? Because we're going to build out our campaign. Now, this is going to be a sales campaign. And so the first thing we're going to do here, once we're in our business manager, okay, I'm going to actually just click off of that. Now, this is one of my demo accounts here. So I'm going to actually click on create. Okay. So you want to click on the create button. Now, there's a lot of different ways you can get here. You can also be in the campaigns area versus your ad account. Okay. But I'm going to just start here because this is where most people will actually go to when they are, creating campaigns, looking in their ad or looking at their ad sets and their ads. They will be in their account manager, which is where we're at. Okay. So the ads manager. Okay. So I've clicked on create a campaign, and we want to make sure that we're clicking and creating the correct type of campaign objective, which is sales. Okay. So you're going to click on sales here. Now, a couple things is depending on how old your business manager is or your ad account, you may see something else here that it may say conversions, or you may see sales. Okay. So we're going to click sales, and then I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to click continue. Now, you can name your campaign there at that first tab, or you can actually name it here as well. Okay. One of the things to remember when you are doing campaigns or when you're starting your campaigns is you really want to be very structured with your nomenclature and your naming of not only your campaigns, but your ad sets and your ads, just so that you can really track. Okay, that's really important. So this is going to be, I'm going to just do sales for today, and I'm going to put the date. So remember, we usually start at 3 a.m. The next day, right? So I could do 5/8 or I could do 5/9. And I do always put in the product that I'm promoting. So I will put in an abbreviation. So this would be for the Alpiline product. Okay. Now, categories, you don't need to select categories here. All of this is mostly default. So you don't need to make any selections. Buying type is, of course, auction, and campaign objective is sales, right? That's what we're looking to get, is sales. You won't need to do anything with the catalog or A/B testing. We're not going to do A/B testing, and we are going to keep the Advantage campaign budget off. This is going to be an Advantage campaign budget, or ACB, is very similar to what a CBO was called in Facebook. So campaign budget optimization, we are going to be doing ad set budget optimization. So we're going to leave this off. Okay. And you're going to learn about more of those type of campaigns later on as well. But for today's purposes, we're doing ABO, which is ad set budget, meaning that each ad set has its own budget, versus a campaign that has the budget at the campaign level and you allow Facebook to distribute to different ad sets. Okay. But we're going to actually put in the budget on each ad set. So we're going to click next here. And now we're going to name each of our ad sets. Okay, so based on the training in the modules, you remember that we had different types of ways that we can run, our first sales campaign, or when we're running sales, right? There's a lot of different ways to run sales, but we're gonna kind of keep it simple today. We're gonna run 6 ad sets. We're gonna do basically 2 of the same audience, and we're gonna be testing 1 creative with a copy and a headline. Okay. Again, remember there's certain different ways that you can do this. Again, you can look at the modules on different ways to test, but today that's what we're going to structure it as. So we're going to say ad set 1, and we are going to, today, for today's purposes, we are just going to do US and Canada. Okay. So we're going to do US, Canada, and I'm going to do underscore. Again, the nomenclature is really important, the naming convention. Okay. And I'm then going to do men and women. And then I'm going to also do 35 today. Now, again, remember, there's a lot of different ways to run ads. You can test different ages, different genders. And then I'm going to do underscore here, and I'm going to do the list that I would be using. So today I'm going to use the Alpaline list. Okay. Now, this is US, Canada, men and women, 35, Alpaline list, and I'm going to do Alpaline 0 to 2%. So I'm actually going to do ALP and then underscore 0 to 2. So I know I'm running 0 to 2%. Okay. So that is the way that I'm going to name mine. And then here we want to make sure we click on conversion location, which is our website. Okay. So we want the website here. We're going to scroll down, and the next thing we're going to make sure that we have is maximum number of conversions. That's our performance goal. Pixel, we want to make sure we have our pixel also in here. And then our conversion event is going to be purchase. Okay, so remember all of the other information we've already put in, right? We've done aggregated events. We've, put in our, we've created our pixel. We've done all that in our previous, in the previous modules and in the training. Okay, so you want to make sure that you've done that prior to starting your campaign. Now, we are going to scroll down. We're not going to do a cost per result goal here. We're going to leave that blank, and we're going to continue scrolling down. And now we're going to put in our budget and our start date and our audience. Okay. Remember the easiest thing to remember is your ad set is a set of ads, right? Whether you have 1 ad or multiple ads, you're on the ad set level is all about targeting, budget, and campaign type, or I'm sorry, ad set type. Okay. So, or placements. Ad level is your creative, which is your image, your video, your copy, and your headline. Okay. And so we are going to now scroll down, and we are going to put in our daily budget, and we're going to put in the date. Okay. We're not going to turn dynamic creative on here. Dynamic creative would allow Facebook to pick the creative that you want to, the creatives that you're testing. Now, sometimes, again, we talked about this in the, in the training, in the modules. Dynamic creative is a great way to also test creatives, but today we're going to keep that off, and we're going to put the creative in the ad set, in the ad itself. Okay. And so we're going to do daily budget of $20 to $25. Today, I'm just going to do $20 for each ad set. Start date, of course, is going to be today or tomorrow at 3 a.m. So we're going to start this one tomorrow at 3 a.m. And I'm not going to put an end date here because I want to be able to either keep my ads on or off depending on what the performance is. Now, one of the things to remember is that if you come in here, and one way to also, this is just a kind of a trick of the trade here, but if you have a brand new ad account and you're wondering if you have a spend cap, because sometimes there are spend caps on ad accounts, even if your billing threshold is to that 125, the easiest way to find out if you have a spend cap is to put in a higher budget. If you do have a spend cap, it would tell you here that, hey, this business manager or this ad account can only spend $50 across the entire in all campaigns. Okay, it's going to give you a warning or a triangle, and that will really be informational for you in case your ads don't spend. Okay, the entire budget. So that's just, again, a little golden nugget there. But today we're going to do $20, and on the right hand side you're going to see that the audience definition is going to change here as we're putting in this audience, okay? So right now it's showing a 241 million to 284 million, but you're going to see that go down drastically as I update the customer list and update your custom audiences, okay? So again, I'm going to do a 0 to 2% here. So I'm going to go into my lookalikes and I'm just going to type in 0 to 2. Now I've already created my lookalikes. Okay. If you hadn't created lookalikes, then you would need to do that as well during your launch. Of course, in the training, I recommend that you 100% try to go in at least 24 to 48 hours before your launch, create your lookalike audiences from your customer list, because it can take, again, 24 to 48 hours to update and your audience sizes won't be accurate, okay? So we wanna make sure those are in there. And I'm actually gonna do instead, today, I'm gonna do 1 to 5s instead, because I have those created in here. And so for today's purposes, I'm actually gonna do 1 to 5 in my testing, okay? Now remember, you can do 0 to 2s, 2 to 5s, 5 to 10s, but I'm gonna do 1 to 5s because I am gonna test the creatives against some audiences as well. Okay, so I'm going to scroll again back down. I have now put in my audience, Canada 1 to 5, and now I need US as well. Okay, and I have 1 to 5 here. And again, I'm using my Alpaline list. Okay, so these are here now, and I've added those in. And now I'm going to scroll down. And now I need to put in the location. Even though I put the list in, I'm still going to put my locations in. So again, remember, for today's demo purposes, I'm only doing United States and Canada, but you can, of course, do New Zealand, Australia. You could do the United Kingdom too, if you wanted to test, those, or even Ireland. There's a lot of, again, English speaking countries. Just make sure that if you are promoting a physical product, that they do ship to the countries that you are targeting. Okay. And again, remember in the training, I talked about that the United Kingdom can sometimes show really high click-through rates, but aren't always the best in terms of buyers. And so if you're seeing really high click-through rates and not a lot of conversions, then you want to make sure that you're, separating some countries out. Again, US and Canada are always going to be probably your 2 top countries that you're going to see your highest earnings. Okay, so that's where we're going to start today. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to do, again, 35 plus. You could do 30, you can do, again, this is, there's a lot of different ways to start testing, but I'm just going to start with the 35 to 65, and I'm going to do men and women, right? So all genders, and I'm not going to do any detailed targeting on this one. This would be interest-based. I am going to come in here and do English all. I like to put that in just in case. And I'm going to continue to scroll down. And as you can see now on the right-hand side, my audience has been updated, right? Now my estimated size for this audience is anywhere from about 8 million to 10.5 million people, okay? So it's also going to show you my reach based on the 7-day or 1-day view conversion window, based on my budget as well, okay? And the number of conversions, it's basically estimating, okay? Now, placements, I'm going to keep the advantage placements on, which is automatic placements. I'm not going to go into manual placements for this. You can do that. You can, select your placements, your feed. You can do mobile only or desktop. But today I'm going to do advantage because when we're first testing, we kind of want to let Facebook do the heavy lifting. And so advantage or automatic placements is letting Facebook do the work there. So now I'm going to click on next, and it's going to take me over here to my ad level, right? So the ad I'm going to click on is ad 1, or sorry, I'm going to type in ad 1. And again, my nomenclature, my naming is going to be very structured. So here I'm going to do I as in image, because I'm going to do an image today, image 1. And then I'm going to do underscore copy 1, which is C1. I'm going to do underscore headline 1, which is headline, and underscore LP1, which is my landing page. Okay. Now, again, this is the way I structure it. This is just another way to, there are a lot of ways that you can do this. figure out what works best for you. But the biggest piece of advice is to make sure you have a naming convention when you're naming your ad sets, your ads, that is very uniform, so that you can track, so that everything is, images are named the same, videos are named the same, headlines, etc. Okay. And this is also really important if you have a tracking software and you're using Commently, or, and you're wanting to filter in Commently or in Facebook. It allows you to do that, much more in a methodical way and very structured if you have your naming in place. Okay. So it's going to show me the page here that I'm advertising from, and it's going to use the selected Instagram account if I had one associated to that. Now I'm also going to do manual upload here, okay, in terms of creating the ad, and I'm going to do a single image. Okay, there's, again, a lot of different ways you can do this, a lot of different options, but the easiest and most simple to start testing is manual and single image, unless you're doing dynamic creative. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to add in my ad. So I'm going to click on add media here. So I'm going to click on add media, and I'm going to add my image in. So let me do that. And I'm probably going to need to upload and do my image. So I'm just going to do this image for now. And again, my images were, I have images that I've done from either Platinum, the Platinum tools, right? I've already downloaded them. I already have them ready. Okay. So I have this one here, and then I'm going to upload another one that should be somewhere in my downloads. So let me stop sharing for a second. Okay.
Yeah, while Coach Stephanie's doing that, guys, let me know in the chat. Has this been helpful so far? Have you guys been learning some stuff in terms of how to be able to set up your campaigns? Cool. Yeah, I see people saying yes. And that's one of the great things about it, guys. It really is pretty simple, actually, to set up your Facebook campaigns, and it's very repetitive. So, once you kind of understand the steps, it's pretty easy to do. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. So, okay, great. So you can see this again?
Yes, I can. Yep.
Okay, perfect. So, okay, you guys. So now I have, as you see, this is an image here, this variation 7. I'm actually going to add that one in. This is one from Project Platinum. It's really cool. It's what I'm going to be testing, okay, for this product, which is the Alpaline product, which is the ice hack, right? So again, when I first bring an image in here, I'm going to do the original or recommended, okay? You want to make sure that your images, now remember there's sizing that you can, your image size in the Project Platinum tools, you can make sure your images are all the right size in there. Okay, normally you want them 1080 by 1080 if they're images. Again, there's different variations on whether you have an image or a video, okay? So I'm going to do the recommended here, and I'm going to go to next. Now, there are a lot of different options here that Facebook is allowing for enhancements, okay? I like to keep the enhancements on for just the image brightness. I always turn that on, and I usually will keep the standard enhancements on. Now, again, you can turn music on, you can create some different, music to go with your images. You can enable that, or your videos if you were doing, reels, and 3D animation. I'm not going to do that today, but again, those are also really cool now features that Facebook is also giving you access to. Okay. And so you're going to see here that what this looks like, and I'm going to click done. And now you're going to see that the ad is starting to come together. So it's showing my image here first. Okay. And now I need to put in my text and my headline. Okay. So in the text, this is your ad copy, right? This is the copy that you've either, rewritten, or that you've put in the AI tools and you've generated. So I'm going to grab my text now. So I'm going to stop sharing for a minute and grab that. And let's go to my generator. Okay. Let me share again. Awesome. Okay, so I'm in the generator here in the Project Platinum, my offer generator, my headline creator, my copy creator, just because this is where, for today's purposes, I wanted to show you that I'm just literally copying them from here, right? Now, you can, of course, have them downloaded to your computer, etc. But I am going to copy from the headline here. And so I'm going to click on I'm going to copy this headline, and now I'm going to go back to my ad, and I'm going to put in the headline first. Look at how simple that is, right? So now I'm going to go back to, make sure you can see this. Robbie, you can see this correct in the Project Platinum?
Yep, I see it. Yep.
Okay, so I'm going to go into the rewriter, copy rewriter here, and I'm sorry, I'm actually going to go to copy creator. And just for today's demo purposes, I'm going to click the offer. I'm going to select Alpaline, and I am going to generate a copy. Okay, now you can change these, you can do the copy rewriter, but for today's, just for today, in terms of our training and the demo, I want to make sure that, you know, for time purposes, I'm going to use this. Okay, so this is a great ad copy, talks about the ICE method. It's very congruent with my ad and my landing page. So now I'm going to copy this, and I am going to go back to now my text. Again, remember, primary text is your ad copy, and I'm going to paste it in here. Now, if I wanted to make any changes to that, if I needed to, you know, update, if there was maybe an age or, you know, weight in terms of having it congruent with my landing page, I would do that. Okay. And so, but that's how simple it can be to literally put in the information right from Project Platinum. Okay. So I've got my headline, I've got my ad copy, and now I need to also put in my website, right? Which is my platinum page, my landing page. Okay. Now, description here is also something you can add to. I'm not going to today, but you can always, of course, add a description as well that will show somewhere in, depending on where your ad is being seen, it will show somewhere in your ad. It might show at the bottom by the headline. It might show across your ad. Again, it just depends on the placement. Okay. Now, of course, on my call to action, right? Of course, I want to say learn more on the call to action. Okay. Now, there are some different call to actions here that you can, of course, as you get, you know, into running ads more, you could always test in, like maybe order now, but learn more is what we want to default to, especially for purchases. Okay. So you're going to click learn more. And now I'm going to put in my website. So again, I'm going to go back to Project Platinum. Okay. And I've got my landing page here. I've already customized my landing page. Okay. So I have it ready. And so sorry, I don't have it ready. This one says 7-second coffee trick or tweak. But if I did have the landing page for Alpaline, that's what I would put in. Okay. And so this one is here. I'm going to preview, and I think this one, I don't know if I've updated this one either, but for today's purposes, I'm just going to put in the website. But of course, you would want to make sure that your landing page was updated. Okay. And so this is 7-second coffee tweak. So I can,
I think you're running for LiveMount, weren't you, Coach Stephanie?
nope, I'm running Alpaline. This says Lipomelt, but it's really not. It's really Alpaline. But yes, it does say Lipomelt Lander. Okay. But it is the Alpaline product that I have right now. Okay. I'm sorry, you guys, if that confuses you, but when you create a new landing page here, when you create your landing page, you would want to make sure that your page name is, you know which product it is. I know for that this landing page is the Alpaline product that I'm promoting, even though it says Lipomelt on that one. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my dashboard, go to landing pages, and now I'm going to go to my landing page, and I'm going to take my link. Now, your landing page link is going to be your Project Platinum Lander Platinum Tools. Let me just move this out of the way. Okay. It's going to be the Platinum landing page URL. Okay. Now, if you put in your Commently, or if you're using the Commently tracking, you want to make sure that the Commently code is on that as well. Okay. But I'm going to now copy the URL exactly as it is. And my landing page has the path behind my root domain. Okay. So it's, of course, the dailyliving.platinumpages.io. And then it's got my Lipomelt landing page, because I also am running Lipomelt on another with another landing page that's just like this. Okay. And so now I'm going to click on copy. and I'm going to go back to my browser, and I'm going to paste in my website, okay, which is your landing page, right? So now you're going to see this come to life, and let's scroll down here. I have to take out this. It will, sometimes this defaults to call extension. So to get that error to go away, you just need to make sure it doesn't show a call extension on your website. Okay. So now I've got the ad, as you can see here, has my copy in it. It's got my creative, and it's also got the headline. Okay. And so now we are going to make sure the rest of this, see, all of that is done. And you can see here, it says, I still can't believe this simple routine exists, which was the headline. This is my creative, my blue ice glass. And that would be for, of course, if I'm running the Alpaline product, okay, with my website. All right. And so now I'm going to put together the rest of my ad sets. Now, remember, you can create new ad sets starting from scratch here in your campaign, or you can duplicate these out because they're not live yet. Okay. Now, sometimes I'll duplicate these just to make it quicker. And so I will hit duplicate here, and I am going to say original campaign or existing campaign. I'm going to do actually 3 different, actually I'm going to do 6. I'm going to do 6 of these, 5 total here, so that I have 6 ad sets altogether. Now I kept show existing reactions and comments on because these haven't been live. Okay. Again, this hasn't gone live, so I would duplicate this out. Remember, and you're going in the training, in the modules, you learned about, the scaling techniques and how Robbie talks about duplicating or scaling horizontally or vertical. Because this isn't gone out live yet, I'm going to duplicate these out. Okay. We wouldn't want to duplicate an ad set, right? Unless we were scaling it if these had already gone live. Okay. So now I'm going to go in and I'm going to change all of my ad sets. So I'm going to click on ad set 1 copy, which is my copy duplicate. So I'm going to click on this, and I'm going to just name this ad set 2. Again, I'm going to run the same exact targeting for every 2 ad sets. So I'm going to click on, I'm going to take out the copy, and I'm going to have 1 to 5, and everything else in this ad set will remain the same because it's an exact duplication. Okay. So I don't have to come in and change anything here. It's going to keep everything exactly the same. And then I'm going to go to my ad level, and now I'm going to make this ad 2. And I'm going to have the same creative in this as well. Okay. So now if I wanted to, test a different creative, or I was testing creatives alongside, these in these ads, I could make this image 2, right? And I could change the creative. But for today, for time purposes, I'm going to leave the creative the same. So I don't need to make any changes at all to this ad. Everything stays the same, except for the naming, right? Because this is ad 2 with ad set 2. Now I'm going to go to the next one. And I know that this is either my original or my duplicate, because I've taken out the copy, right? So this is my original. So now I'm going to come to the next one, and this would be one of my duplicates. So I'm going to take out the word copy, and I'm going to make this ad set 3. Now, ad set 1 and 2 are identical. They're 1 to 5%. Ad set 3 and 4 are going to be identical, and they're going to be a different percentage. Okay. So these ones are going to be 5 to 10s. Now, remember, you can do, 0 to 2s, 2 to 5s, 5 to 10s. You can do all different combinations of lookalikes. But for today, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing 1 to 5s and 5 to 10s. And so I'm going to keep the gender and the countries exact same. And all I'm going to do is scroll all the way down. And again, budget is the same, date is the same. Everything is the same, except now I need to add in my 5 to 10s. So let's see if I have these here. 5 to 8s. Actually, I'm going to do 5 to 8s because that's what I already have done in here. So I'm going to do 1 to 5 and 5 to 8s today. I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to take out my 1 to 5s. And now I'm going to do the same exact countries, but I'm going to do my 5 to 8. So Canada and US. Now, there's really not a right or wrong answer here, you guys, in terms of running, when you're testing. It really is testing, right? So again, we recommend doing lookalikes first. The majority of your ad sets, lookalike audiences, because that's your lowest hanging fruit, right? Facebook has a little bit of an advantage of going out to find, obviously sales based on the people that have bought the product. Okay. But with that being said, you want to test different lookalike audiences. And I'm going to just test these 2 groups for today. Okay. So again, everything else is the same. I only had to change up my audiences. So I'm at ad set 3. And now I'm going to go here to add 3. Okay. Now, the next one is going to be ad set 4. And this, again, I'm going to do 2 of each that are identical. So 1 and 2 was the same. Now ad set 3 and 4 are going to be the same. So this would be a 5 to 8 again. And again, remember in the training, we talk about, Robbie talks about, and in Project Platinum about, fishing poles. We talk about fishing poles in like thinking about the more ad sets you have, the more fishing poles you have, in the lake or a pond. If you throw one fishing pole or 1 line, you might catch a fish. If you throw 6 out or 3 out or 4 out, right, you have a much higher chance to catch a fish, right? So the probability increases. So we want to do more ad sets in a combination of, duplicates, right? So two of one audience, 2 of another audience, and maybe 2 of interest-based audience. Okay. So it does help to give more ad sets with some of the same audience to see if we can catch a fish or catch sales, right? Get sales on that audience. And remember, because Facebook is going to, each ad set gets a different pocket of traffic, right? Or a different pool of traffic. Okay, so I've got my 5 to 8s here. Sorry, there's some background noise. I have, if you can hear that, apologize. My housekeeper is here today. Okay, so custom audience, again, I've got 5 to 8s. I have 5 to 8s here. Perfect. Okay, and then again, I don't have to make any other changes except to my ad, just so that it matches. Add 4. Perfect. So I've got 1 and 2 are my 1 to 5s, and I have 3 and 4 are my 5 to 8s. Okay, so I've got, now I'm going to do 5 and 6. Ad set 5 and 6 are going to be interest based. So now we're not going to do our lookalikes. We're going to do just interest based on these. So I'm going to take out the alkaline and say interest. And now I'm going to click on the ad set 1 and make that 5 and scroll all the way down. Again, all I'm changing is my targeting, right? So I'm going to take out my custom audience and I'm going to do the detailed targeting on this one because these are going to be interest based. So detailed targeting is your interest. So for today's, I'm actually just going to do, let's see, today I'm going to do chocolate. And I'm going to do donuts. Oh, let's do donut interest. Perfect. Chocolate, donuts, and I am going to also do chocolate, donuts, and cake. Okay, so a couple of things about interest based. There's no right or wrong. It's really about testing. You want to test, different interests to see where you can find sales, right? And interest based or detailed targeting can be such a magical audience because usually, right, you're really kind of testing different interests that a lot of other people may not be running. And so when you find an interest-based or a pocket of traffic that's hitting with your ads and you get sales, that's golden. That's just gold. Okay. And so again, you could do hobbies, you could do lifestyle, you could do, magazines, books, you could do TV shows, you could do, different sports teams, you could do, different types of food delivery, pizza delivery. I mean, anything that there's just so many really cool audiences in detailed targeting. There's so many interests, so many behaviors. You could do engaged shoppers. Again, you could do plus size clothing. These are just, there's no right or wrong here. It's literally to test. And so today I'm doing cake, donuts, and chocolate food. As you can see, this is a very big audience here, right? So again, I'm going to do 2 of these just to see how they do in this test, okay? So I've got ad set 5 is detailed targeting, and I'm going to come back up here, and now I'm going to go to ad 5. And my last ad set is also going to be identical to ad set 5, right? So I've got 2 of each. So I'm going to do ad set 6, and here I'm going to do interest base. And you can also, of course, name your interest. I could, type, cake, donuts, and chocolate. But for today's purposes, I'm just putting interests. And then I'm scrolling down and I'm going to take out my detailed targeting, or I'm sorry, my lookalikes, and go into my detailed targeting. And again, cake, donuts, and chocolate. Awesome. Okay. And so the last thing, of course, is to rename my ad. Ad 6. Perfect. Okay. So to recap, all right, I have here in my campaign, right, I have 6 ad sets. I have ad set 1 and 2 that are 1 to 5%, right? Within each one is the same creative. Now, I am not testing necessarily a number of creatives in this campaign, right? Because if I was, I would want to add more creatives to it. But today, for time purposes, I just have 1 headline, 1 copy, and 1 creative. Okay. Now, again, testing is key. So I already kind of know what works. So I'm just using 1, for instance, for today. But if I didn't, I would want to make sure I'm, testing multiple creatives. I may do all of the same audience and do, 6 ad sets with 1 creative each. Or again, in the training, you saw that I had different diagrams of different testing ways, right? Or methods to test. You do an ad set with 2 ads and do a creative in each one, or maybe dynamic creative. So there's a lot of different ways to do it, not necessarily a right or a wrong way. Okay. But for today, I'm just going to be testing. This is really testing my creative, my copy, my headline and my landing page against different audiences is what this test looks like. Okay. And so again, I've got ad set 1 and 2, 1 to 5%. I've got ad set 3 and 4, which is my 5 to 8%. And then I've got ad set 5 and 6 are my interest base. Okay. All of them are US, Canada. All of them are men and women, and all of them are 35 plus. Again, there are many different ways to do this. Okay. But this is how easy it is to set up a campaign, or so how simple, right? And now I would, this is all set up. I would hit publish, and I would now have this go into review. And then once it's in review, it would go active. And now I'm going to have my campaign launch, which is really exciting. For today, I'm not going to publish this because obviously this is my demo account, but I just want to show you how simple it was to go back and forth from, of course, right? You have your Facebook, you can go into your platinum tools, you can copy things and put your, copy your text, copy your headline, or you can have it downloaded into a document as well. Okay, so yeah, that's it for today. I mean, I would publish this, I'd hit publish and these would all go live and I would be making sales.
Amazing. That's awesome. Guys, let me know in the chat. Has this been, or let me know in the question box, I should say, has this been helpful? Have you guys been learning some stuff? I see some people saying, oh my gosh, there's a lot of stuff. And guys, I know it may seem a little bit overwhelming when you first do it for the first time or two, but it certainly is not something you got to learn, right? And we're going to go ahead and answer some questions here in just a bit there. Coach Stephanie, you want to share the slides again? That'd be awesome. And then we can go over some of the questions here. But great stuff, guys. Yeah, I see everyone saying they were loving it. It was great. I love that, guys. A couple of questions here I'm seeing. One of the questions I think I'm seeing a lot of people ask is, why do we need 6 ad sets? Like, what's the benefit of having 6 ads or ad sets?
Yeah, that's a great question. So a couple of things. One, we want to remember that the more ad sets we have, the more, chances of we're giving Facebook definitely a better options to find pools of traffic, right? We're giving them a better Facebook a better chance to really find buyers. So you have one ad set that's just, it limits, obviously it limits the volume of people that you're going to get, right, in your campaign, but 6 ad sets also gives you 6 different pools of traffic. Whether you're doing the same audience, you're still going to have a different pool of traffic to each ad set.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, guys, like I always say, it's just kind of like fishing, right? An ad set is a fishing pole, right? So if you have one fishing pole in the water, you certainly can catch fish with it. But how cool would it be to have 6 fishing poles in the water? You're probably going to have a better chance of catching more fish, right? So, and then if you find one spot in the lake or wherever where there's more fish, then you obviously want to double down and get more action over there. So, but yeah, great question for sure. Someone also is asking in terms of budget, like what's the best starting budget per ad set to start with?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say the best budget is, obviously the budget that you're, that you can do. But normally we like to start with $20 to $25. That is a great ad set budget. Going really high on high budgets when you're first testing doesn't make a lot of sense, because you do want to test, at the lower budgets to make sure that you're going to be able to get sales, and that you're, especially when you're testing, to look at your copy and your creatives, right? And then when you find that winner, that's when you can, like Robbie says, double down. You can increase your budgets. You can go out at higher budgets. But again, if you only have, $10 or $15 to start with, then start with that. Start with what works for you. But I would say optimally $20 to $25 an ad set is pretty good. And again, that gives us that 125, that we're trying to aim for, right? To give us 6 ad sets at $20. That's, $120. Or if you're doing 25, it keeps you right there in that billing threshold.
Yep, exactly. Awesome. Yeah, let's see what else we got for questions here. Let's see. Someone is asking, what performs better, image or video?
I would say you have to test. Both of them perform better. What do you think, Robbie? I see videos perform really great, and I also see images. It really, it comes down to everybody's own campaign and their targeting, I think.
Yeah, 100%. I think that you're absolutely right. You have to test things out, guys. And you're going to hear the coaches say that a lot, and don't think that that's a cop out where it's like, oh, well, they don't know the answer. No, it's true, guys. Like literally, what we do here when it comes to advertising is you have to test, right? You have to test whether a video is going to do better. You have to test whether an image is going to do better. You have to test out all those different things to see that, which one is going to do better. And so that's super important to keep in mind. And that's something you need to, just really pay attention to, but always test, guys. I think that, most people don't test enough when it comes to their campaigns. Like if you're thinking you're going to have create like one image or one video, and that's going to be your winner. I hate to break it to you. It probably will not be. You're probably gonna have to test out, another 5, 10, 15 or so to find that winner. Right. And that's okay, because, it's process of elimination. It's okay to test things out. Hey, Thomas Edison, guys, took him over 1,000 times to find the thing that makes the light bulb work. Right. Can you imagine if he stopped, 100 tries into it, we'd be doing this masterclass in the dark. You know what I mean? So it's important to just keep on testing for sure. Let's see here. What else we got for questions? Let's see. Um, oh yeah, I mean, another question here. Someone, not a question, but someone said that they actually joined the inner circle, and they're super excited about it. Actually, I think they were on a call with you, Coach Stephanie. I think so, which is awesome. So, yeah, guys, yeah, the inner circle. I'll touch on it again, and we've been talking about it all past couple of weeks. But really, if you want to get extra help and attention, and those live group coaching calls, like if you guys love the master classes that we're doing, like the best thing you can do is be part of the inner circle, because it's like a continuation of that. And it's on Zoom. You get to see our, smiling faces, and, you see Coach Stephanie, she does multiple calls per week. I do a call every month. There's a lot of benefits of being in the inner circle. And so we've had a lot of people actually join as well. But if you're interested in learning more about it, just go to projectplatinum.com/IC. I'll post that link in the chat for you guys as well. But make sure you guys do that, set up a call with my team, and they'll kind of walk you through all that as well. And definitely important you guys set up a call, because we are going to be making some pretty cool changes to the inner circle coming up. And if you want to be a part of it, you definitely should go to that link and set up a call.
Yeah, the inner circle is a game changer, I think, for, especially in this business, just being surrounded by, right, like-minded people, and it's a more intimate type of atmosphere. The calls are amazing. You just learn something, the golden nugget every time people get on calls, even if you're just in there listening, advanced training, there's just a lot of really cool stuff. And again, you get a call with Robbie once a month there. And, I do a creatives call every week. So you can submit your creatives, your camp, I can look at your campaign and look at your stats and share your screen. So it's pretty amazing. Definitely.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Let's see. Cool. Let's see what else we got for questions here. Another question someone's asking. I mean, they're saying, how long should they keep their like campaigns going, even if they have a conversion campaign?
So I think likes campaign is a great thing to have on your ad account on a regular basis. Like I keep mine going, and that's just because the more likes you get to your page, the more, one, social proof, right, of that page, but also the more that has trust with Facebook, and the more people that see your ads, right? Anyone that likes your page sees your ads, even if you're not targeting them, they organically, will see ads from your page. So I keep mine going. I think it's great to have them going.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. What else we got for questions? Yeah, definitely want to keep your like campaigns going for sure.
Yep, keep the like campaigns going.
Let's see what else we got for questions here. Here's a good question. Like, what do you do when you find a winning ad? I mean, I guess that's a good question. So I mean, as far as, yeah, so Stephanie, what would you say, like, if someone were to get what would you say would be like a winning ad?
Well, a winning ad, in my opinion, is one that is getting, when we say ad, I would say a winning combination, right, of copy, creative, headline, landing page. I would say a winning ad is one that is getting more than one sale. It is, and I would say you want to scale it, right, depending on what your ROI is. But if you get more than, again, we talk about 2 or 3 sales on an ad or an ad set, you want to start to scale. But a winning ad, when we talk about the combination of a winning ad, we're really thinking like the combo, right? Your creative, your headline, your copy. When everything starts to work together, that's you want to move forward with that. You want to test different audiences with that.
Yep.
And that winning is really getting sales, right? That's what we're here for. So remember all the other, the KPIs, the analytics, things like that you learned in the training that we'll go again, we'll really dive into next week, is really secondary, right? Those are all secondary to sales. So winning ad is sales.
Yep, exactly. Another great question here is, how long do I let an ad run with no sales?
So that's a great question. And I think, one, it depends on the product you're promoting. So normally we take, a product AOV and we divide it by 1.5. And then you want to kind of think about, normally if you're at $25 a day, it would be anywhere from like 48 to 72 hours. But you also want to think about the price of the product, right? So if an AOV product is, let's just say Alpiline is 140, you may, want to kill that ad or ad set at $75, $80. You want to at least give it enough, to at least to get enough volume depending on what your numbers look like. So I would say if you take the AOV of the product, your average order value that the vendor is telling you in ClickBank, divided by 1.5, and then take out, 15 to 20% for, chargebacks or refunds that might come for the product. That's going to give you a really good number to kind of aim for. And again, that would be somewhere for a product like that around, maybe $75 or $80. If you are, again, so, that's what you have to remember, because that 48 to 72 hour mark may be not enough if you're at lower budgets, right? So you need to make sure that you're at least giving it enough spend to get a sale, to get volume there. So if you're at $25, I would say, 2 to 3 days is pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. So at the lower spend, guys, you just have to be a little bit more patient in terms of the amount of time you let it run. But and the one thing I would say, guys, first 24 to 48 hours, don't touch it. Like, just let it be, because a lot of people like to kind of tinker with things too much and it can mess it up. So you got to let Facebook kind of do its thing. Okay. So that's the way that works there. Awesome. Let's see. Let's take another question or two here, then we'll go ahead and wrap it up. For the first part of the masterclass. Let's see here. And yeah, and just so you know, guys, we've had, we probably haven't gotten some answers from my team. My team has been, behind the scenes answering questions as well. So we don't actually call out your question. We're doing everything we can to answer on behind the scenes, because, we have hundreds of people on. So, and the questions always come in very quickly. All right, cool. Yes. Let's see here. What else we got?
Here's a good question. When would you or when would we use dynamic creative? So I think that's a great question, because remember, you can test creatives in each ad set, right? Like we were doing today. I just had one creative, right? One ad per ad set, but you could also put 2 ads per ad set if you wanted to have, different creatives in that. Or if you do dynamic creative, you don't get to choose which creative or the way that the creative is shown to the audience, right? So you want to kind of think about using dynamic creative maybe after you found a few winning creatives. You may have, maybe 1 or 2 creatives that are really doing well for you and getting sales. And then you may want to throw them into dynamic creative to see, which one gets lower costs, what Facebook is really is going to, show to the audience, right? The one thing about dynamic creative to remember also is that dynamic creative doesn't always give each creative the same opportunity of spend or showing. So you kind of want to think about doing that at a later date versus right when you're first starting to test.
Yep. Exactly.
In my opinion.
Yep, I agree. Absolutely. Awesome. So cool. Well, I think we'll go ahead and end it here for this part, guys. Now, homework is very simple. All you got to do is launch your campaign. All right. That's all we want you to do for this week. Right. And I know that what I'd recommend is to rewatch this training once we post the replay. Make sure you guys do that. Just do that as well. Launch the campaign. And just get it up and running, okay? Because we want to make sure that you're, get your feet wet. Don't worry about making mistakes. Don't worry about, a lot of people say, oh my gosh, what if I screw something up? Guys, screw something up. Like that's how you learn, okay? Don't be afraid to make mistakes and just get things set up and just take your time. Make sure you go through steps, right? That's important. That's why we wait until week 5 to get you guys to the point where you launch your campaigns, because remember, slow is fast. If you move too fast here on Facebook, you can make mistakes and that can run into issues that can be avoided. Okay. So make sure you guys do that. Also, guys, if you want to learn more about the inner circle, like we talked about, make sure you guys go to projectplatinum.com/IC to learn more about that. We'll pop the link in the chat once again. So we're going to go ahead and wrap it up here, guys. We are going to take a 10 to 15 minute intermission. Don't go anywhere though, guys. I mean, obviously you can go and grab a bite to eat or grab, a drink or go to the bathroom, whatever you got to do. Go for a run and then come back here, guys. And make sure you're here right now in the next 10, 15 minutes, because we'll be starting the second part of week 5, where myself and Coach Mariah will be going over YouTube, right? So make sure you guys are there for that as well. And we are in the second to last week, guys. So just keep going here. Stay with me. Keep pushing forward. And we're going to show you guys how to have success here in Project Platinum. So hope you guys enjoyed this session. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for the next session, and we'll see you guys soon. Number 5. Can you believe it's week number 5 already? I mean, it just seems like this is going by so fast. I don't know about you guys, but it doesn't seem like 5 weeks has already come and gone, but it has. And so hopefully you guys have been enjoying the masterclass, and more importantly, the software inside of Project Platinum and all the good stuff. I've been seeing a lot of people post inside the Facebook group, which has been awesome to see. I love to see people taking action and succeeding, and that's great, right? And so make sure you guys continue to do that. I mean, sure, we're in week number 5, but we're just at the very beginning of your journey, right? And remember, we're in this for the long haul, right? So I want you guys to push forward, keep getting after it and all that good stuff. And I see everyone in the chat excited and ready to rock and roll today. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the Facebook section. How many people enjoyed the Facebook training today we did earlier? Let me know in the chat as well. Awesome. Yeah, I see people saying they loved it. Awesome. People say, love Coach Stephanie. Yeah, she's great, isn't she? Well, guys, welcome back to the second half of the Week 5 Masterclass. Excited to be here with you guys. As always, we got a lot to cover today. We've covered a lot of ground over the past couple of weeks, from things like mindset, from things like setting up your tracking, all kinds of stuff we covered. And today we're going to be going over something really important, which is going to be how to analyze your data and how to find your winning ad. Because let's face it, if you don't know how to look at the data and make decisions off the data, then that's pretty much called gambling, right? And so we're not in the business of gambling here. We're not in the business of just hoping and praying and wishing to be successful. We're in the business of looking at the data and making decisions off of the data. And that is how we're able to scale up and put money in our pocket, right? So today's a really important section as well. Now, keep in mind, guys, if you're at the point in your journey where you haven't had your gotten your ads set up yet, or you don't have any data coming through, that's okay, right? Don't feel like you're behind, because you're not, right? Remember, as I mentioned, that week number 1, it's you versus you, right? There's nobody else you're trying to, keep up with or catch up to. It's you versus you. Go at your own pace. And the great thing is like these videos and these workshops, these trainings that we're doing here with you guys live, these are all going to be recorded, right? So you can go back and rewatch them as many times as you want to watch them, all right? Which is important, okay? And sometimes you have to, right? And I would definitely encourage you guys to rewatch them, especially this one here, because there's a lot of really good stuff that we're going to be sharing today. And in addition to that, I'm also joined by my very special partner in crime here, Coach Mariah, who is going to be helping you guys when it comes to YouTube, as she has for the past several weeks. So, Coach Mariah, are you there?
Hey, everyone, I'm here, just listening. I agree with Robbie. In this training, we're going to go over a lot of good stuff, and it's so important to understand how to analyze your data. And this is the way by analyzing your data, this is the only way you can actually make money, right? You need to understand what's not working and what works. And then that's how you can scale and actually be profitable and have good ROI. So this training, we're going to cover a lot of that. So it's definitely something that you want to pay attention to, take a lot of notes. And like Robbie said, watch it two times if you have to. There's no shame in that. And we're going to be covering a lot of stuff. So make sure you're paying attention.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. So let's go ahead and go to the next slide here, and let's take a look at what we've accomplished so far. I mean, we've accomplished a lot of stuff. I mean, it seems like every week we're checking things off the box this year, which is awesome. So week number 1, we covered the mindset. We went over the platinum tools. And by the way, guys, let me know in the chat how you're enjoying those platinum tools. They are awesome, aren't they? I've seen a lot of people saying they just love how easy it is to use these tools, how much it makes their life easier, which is great. We covered Google ad account setups, YouTube channel setups. We covered Spy Hero Platinum pages. Creating your first video was in week number 3. Last week, we covered tracking your conversion events, Cometly setup, and how to launch your first campaign. We covered all that stuff, which has been really, really good, right? And so this week, we're covering analyzing your data and how to find your winning ads. And then obviously next week, we'll be covering how to scale up. So awesome. So let's go ahead and keep on going here, guys. And so let's take a look here. So week number 5, data analysis, right? So important to learn how to understand the numbers, because the numbers are going to dictate what you do with your ads, right? How to find your way to a winning ad, because let's face it, sometimes that first ad you set up, the first ad ever, it may not be a winner. And so how do you find the one that's going to be a winner for you? And we're going to show you how to do that based on data, how to optimize your campaigns. Then later on, we'll be going over Q&As. And so let's jump into the first part here, guys, which is data analysis. So Coach Mariah, you want to dive into this?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so guys, when it comes to data analysis, There are a few KPIs, the key performance indicators that we want to look at. Okay, so the front end metrics are going to be the view rate. Okay, so the percentage of people who watched your video over 30 seconds. And the goal for that, we want to be above 20%. So obviously the higher, right, the higher that number, the better it is, because that means that more people are engaged with your ad. But the goal, the benchmark here is to be at least 20% minimum. Okay, and if you're not at 20%, that just means that you need to work on the first 30 seconds of your ad, right? Then the click-through rate, that's the percentage of people that click learn more to go to your landing page, right? So the goal for the CTR is to be above 2%, okay? Now, if you're under 2%, which sometimes can happen, but you're still profitable, that doesn't matter, right? Then we don't care about being over 2%. As long as if you have good ROI, that's the most important metric at the end of the day. And if you have a lower view rate or a lower CTR link, but you're making you have 80% ROI, then don't worry about it, right? Just keep going, just keep making money. But these are the benchmarks. This is what we're looking for. It's just a base for you to get started, so you know what your numbers should look like. Okay, so typically you want to be above 2%. Your cost per click, that's how much you're paying for each learn more click, right? How much you pay for each person to go to your landing page, and the goal is to be below $1.25. Okay. All right, so obviously here, the cheaper that you're paying, the better it is, because then that means that you're sending more traffic to your landing page for less money, and that is going to help you have a greater ROI, be more profitable. So the less you're paying, the better it is. And to achieve a lower cost per click, one of the things that you can do is actually improve your click-through rate and the view rate, which are the two metrics that we just talked about. So the higher those metrics are, the lower that your cost per click is, because that means your video is so great that more people are clicking, more people are interested, and more people are clicking on the learn more to go to the landing page, and that's going to help you. That's going to help your cost per click, and you're going to end up paying less for a click. Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that for a second. So just to kind of recap real quick, guys, I see someone asking in the chat here, what does KPI mean? So KPI, guys, is key performance indicator, right? So these are like, little pieces of data that are really important to pay attention to. So that's what a KPI means. And so, as Coach Mariah said, the view rate is so important. Now, remember, as you talked about in previous weeks in the masterclass, that your view rate, if you have a 3 or 4 minute video for your ad, or even a 2-minute video for your ad, the 2 minutes are obviously important, but the most important part of your video is going to be those first 30 seconds. Okay, so that's basically, the higher the percentage of people that continue watching after 30 seconds, the better off your metrics will be, your sales will be. And that's why, with your ads and your video ads, it's so important to make sure that first, 30 seconds is very compelling. Okay. As Coach Mariah also mentioned, your click-through rate is really important. So basically, people who click learn more. Now, if you don't know what that means, when people who click learn more, when people see your ad on YouTube, so if they're watching a video and your ad pops up, there'll be a little button or a little kind of square that'll pop up on the ad in the bottom corner that'll say learn more. So when they click on learn more, that's what we're talking about here. Okay. Then obviously cost per click is important. And so if your goal is to be below 125, you can notice, guys, what does that metric seem similar to? It seems very similar to what the cost per click would be on Facebook, right? So on Facebook, we're trying to stay under $1. Same thing here on YouTube. YouTube's a little bit more expensive as far as traffic goes, but as far as keeping it under 125, we'll make sure that you have some numbers and some metrics that you can actually have success with.
Yep. Awesome. So now we're going to look at some scenarios of what can be happening right now with your campaigns, and then what to do, right? What would you do? What would you fix? What part of your funnel would you fix if some of these metrics are not within your benchmark? Okay. So here in scenario 1, we have a view rate of 10%, a CTR of 0.8%, a cost per click of 150, no sales, and negative ROI. Okay, so here basically all the metrics are under the benchmark, right? All the KPIs here are actually not where we want them to be. So view rates 10%, we really want 20%. CTR is 8%, we really want to be above 2. Cost per click, we want to be below 125, right? Obviously, sales, we want sales. So that means that your video, in this scenario, your video needs work. So you need to test new videos. Okay, that's what those metrics are telling you. Now, it's important, guys, to understand too, there's one key to this, which is in the beginning, when you're launching your first video ad ever, there's no data in your pixel yet, right? So these metrics, they might be lower in the beginning, okay? Even if you have a good video, sometimes it is a little bit lower than it would be if your pixel was more optimized, if you had more data on your pixel, okay? So we have to take in consideration the traffic that you're getting. Google is still trying to understand who your customer is, so it might not, in the beginning, the very beginning, early stages, it might not be sending your video ad the right traffic yet, and that could cause those numbers to be very low in the beginning, okay? So just keep that in mind and start very slow in the beginning with low budgets, just because, you just need you need to give a little bit of time to Google so it can get that data and start optimizing, okay? But in this first scenario here, we know that all the KPIs are below the benchmark, and that means that you want to test new videos, write new scripts and set up new videos and start testing new videos, okay? And in scenario 2 here, we have a view rate of 25%, so that is good, right? Above that view rate that we talked about of 20, so that is a good metric there. Then the CTR is low, is at 1%, right? And the cost per click is 180, which is a little bit high. No sales, again, negative ROI. So in this case here, well, if my view rate is good, people are clicking on my ad, then, I mean, if people are watching the first 30 seconds of my ad, but then I'm not getting enough clicks when they, after they watch that 30 seconds, they're not clicking that learn more button that Robbie just mentioned, right? So in that situation, what you can do is test change the part of your video after the 30 seconds, right? Because if you have a higher view rate, that means there's something you're doing right in the beginning of your video. Maybe that first intro scene is really good, the hook is really good, but then you're losing people after that, okay? And that's why they're not clicking learn more, okay? And that's why your cost per click is high. So make changes to the end of the video and try to improve that CTR link and that cost per click, okay? In scenario 3 here, we have a view rate of 10%, so way below metric, right? And then the CTR is 2.5, so that's a pretty good CTR there, and cost per click of $1. We have some sales, and we even have a positive ROI here, 15%. But the problem with this scenario is the view rate is 10%. It's a little bit low. Then we want to be at least 20, right? So in a situation like this, that you have some sales, that your CTR is good, your cost per click is good, but just your view rate is actually low, that means that you need to focus on the beginning of your ad. So swapping out that first scene, the hook, getting more people engaged in the very beginning, that first 5 seconds, 30 seconds of your ad. That's going to improve your view rate, which means that more people are going to keep watching the video, right? Past the 5 seconds, 30 seconds. So try to change out the hook, the intro scene. We talked about that in a previous training. So those two things are very, very important, because that means that you have that first 5 seconds to convince people to keep watching before they can skip the ad. So swap those out, test new ones, try to improve that view rate. And that's going to make a huge difference in this scenario here. Okay, and then we have scenario number 4, where you have a view rate of 22%. So that's good. CTR 2%, still good. Cost per click 80 cents, really good. You have sales, and your ROI is 40%. So in a situation like this, right, that is showing that you have a winning video. You're profitable. All your metrics are within the benchmark. And at the end of the day, like I said, what matters is ROI, right? You have a positive ROI, And then after you have metrics like this and you're profitable, then you can move on to optimization and scaling your ads, okay? And in scenario number 5 here, we have a lower view rate of 18%, a low CTR of 1%, a cost per click of 60 cents, some sales, 80% ROI. So why did I wanted to put this scenario here because I wanted to just talk about how important it is to actually make sure that you're looking at ROI versus everything else, right? So we have all these metrics for you to look at, and those are extremely important. This is how you can improve your video ads, your campaigns, and maximize your ROI. But at the end of the day, sometimes your metrics can be, your benchmarks can be lower than that, but you can have really good ROI. And if that happens, then just keep going, right? Because you have, at the end of the day, what matters is making money. So if any of the metrics are actually below the benchmark, but you have really great ROI, then that means that you have a winning video as well, okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Right. Yeah, awesome. And then, yeah, so a couple of questions here. Well, it's a good question. Someone's saying, how many videos will it take me to find my winning video? That's kind of a tough question to answer, but like, what do you see, Coach Mariah? Like, do you think, like, of these scenarios, like I would say probably scenario 4, scenario 5 doesn't happen on your first video. Do you think people will see more of scenario 1 or 2 or 3, like when they first start their first video? Like, what do you think?
It's, like I said, very common to have scenario 1 or 2 when they're starting the first video because of that pixel data, right? Or the algorithm is still trying to figure it out who to show your ads to, what type of traffic to serve your ads. And if that traffic might not be dialed in the beginning, which can skew the data a little bit, right? So it's very normal to have a lower view rate, higher cost per click when you're first launching your first video, right? And that's why we always say, like, just start slow, start with a lower budget, start so that, you know, it's going to be your first video too. So it might not be your best video. I'm sure that when your third video is going to be much, much better than your first, right? So those are the things that, 2 things, right? Giving the algorithm some time to optimize and get some sales in there before you start spending more money. And also, the more that you test, the better. The more you create videos, the better you're going to get at it as well, right? The more you write scripts, the better you're going to get at that too. So it's very common. Don't get discouraged if you see scenario 1 and 2 for your first campaign. But then that's okay. That's fine, right? Because now you know exactly how to launch a campaign. You know how to create your ads. You know how to analyze your data, and now you know what to do next, which is test a new video.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, good question, good answer. Yeah, awesome, sweet. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. All right. So let's talk about back-end KPIs, right? So after what we talked about now, guys, were the video KPIs, right? The front-end metrics. Now we're going to talk about what happens after people click learn more and they go to your landing page. Okay, we're going to talk about those metrics. So we have the landing page CTR, which is you want to be above 40%, right? So that's percentage of people that are clicking on your landing page to go to the VSL. So you want to be at above 40% there. Of course, the higher that number is, the better. A lot of times, though, if that number is very, very, very high, that could mean that people are actually not reading anything on your landing page, and they're just clicking straight away. And sometimes sometimes that's not a good thing, because sometimes you might not be convincing them on the landing page that they should watch the VSL. So a 90% landing page CTR doesn't always mean like it's a good thing. You want your landing page to do the convincing, right? You want to make sure that they're you want to make sure your landing page is keeping them interest so that they want to watch the video. So you want to have a little bit of text in there for that, a nice, good, engaging headline that creates an open loop. And ideally, you're probably going to be around 40 to 60 or even 40 to 70% there, okay, with your landing page CTR. And then we have the hop conversion rate. So your goal here is to be about 1%. Again, the higher, right, the better. Sometimes it depends on the offer that you're promoting as well. Okay, some offers you might be above 2% with some offers. Some offers you can be above 1%, still be profitable. So, but the goal here is to be at least above 1%. And then you have your ROI, okay? And your goal here is to be at least above 25% starting out, right? Obviously, we want to improve that in later on. But this is when these metrics are for you when you're starting out and you're still in the early phases, no data in your pixel, and you're finding that winning ad, right? So when you actually have that video that starts to get sales, then these are the KPIs that you can look at, right? And then we have the cost per conversion, right? So your goal is to be below 50 to 75% the average order value, okay? So the average order value is basically, you can find that in Marketplace. So you can find it on the vendors page, the affiliate page. They will tell you what typically the average order value is. You can also calculate that yourself if you already have some sales. Right, and so your cost per conversion needs to be way lower than the average order value, so that you can be profitable, right? So if you have, as an example, if you have an average order value of 120, then if your cost per conversion is $60, right, 50% of that, that's good because now you're profiting that other 60, right? So we say here that you want to be, your goal for that is to be below 50 to 75% of that average order value, okay? The lower, of course, is the better it will be, okay? Anything to add, Robbie?
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to add was if you were to take a step back and you were to go to what we talked about from the ad standpoint in terms of the view rate, right? So the view rate, we talked about all this stuff and how we wanted to have our click-through rate, our cost per click. So that's one metric, right? Once we get there, now we want to get to the point where we're talking here on the back end. So remember, once again, key performance indicators is what KPI means. The landing page click-through rate, above 40%. If you can do that, you're in a good spot. As you know, like it should be not that hard to get to 40% because, these landing pages, these, kind of mini websites are very, very straightforward and very simple. And it's just one button. So if people aren't clicking at least 40% of the time to the offer, then that's an issue with your landing page. Your hop conversion rate, as Coach Mariah said, 1%. Return on investment should be very good as well. And then cost per conversion. So yeah, this is great. Yeah, let's keep going.
Okay. All right, guys, so now let's talk about how to find your way to a winning ad, right? So now that we talked about what the benchmarks are for your KPIs, right, your key performance indicators, let's say that, you're in a situation that you already launched your campaign and you have scenario one and you just, you have a really, really bad view rate, low CTR, and you're like, you don't know what to do. I don't know what to test next. Should I just create new videos? And test and see what happens. So what we're going to do now is actually show you a way that you can start testing, an easier, more simple way that you can actually start testing and finding your way to a winning ad much faster. Okay, so let's talk about the three essential elements of a winning ad. We talked about that in the previous training, and we know that those are the hook, the intro scene, and the script, right? So basically the hook, that first intro line, the first sentence, right, of your video. The intro scene, the first scene that appears in your video. So that first basically that hook and intro scene, happens in the first 5 seconds of your video, right? And then we have the video script, okay? So these are the most important things of your video. That's what you want to focus on, and those are the different things that you can test. So now let's just go over how you can actually test each one of these individually a lot faster, a lot quicker, without having to create entirely new videos every single time. Okay, so in this example here, you can see the different phases of testing. Okay, so phase one here is where you want to test your script. Okay, so basically what you want to do here is write 3 different scripts and create a video for each script. Now, when I say create a video for each script, in this type of testing, you do not have to include any scenes for your script at all. You don't need a first scene or any scenes at all in your video. Okay, all you're doing is actually writing the script, generating the voiceover for the script, and then putting that in the video. Right, put the script in your video, create a video for it. You can use a white background or a black background. But basically, all that's going to be is just the subtitles. You want to include all the subtitles and then the voiceover, okay? And that's how you would test the script alone without any of the scenes or anything. So just the script. And the goal here is to actually find the one that has the best KPIs, right? The one that has the highest view rate, the one that has the highest CTR link, the lowest cost per click. Okay, that's the goal for the script. Now, you're just doing a script here, so it's very common to have lower benchmarks, lower metrics when you're just testing out the scripts. But then when you move on to phase 2, phase 3, phase 4, you're going to improve those KPIs, because now you're adding the hook, you're adding the intro scene and the scene and the rest of the scenes. So that those metrics are going to improve. Okay. Okay, so now let's say that you wrote your 3 scripts, you created the videos for it, and you launched that in a campaign, and one of the scripts does well, has some good metrics. Now you move on to phase 2, where you're basically just testing now the hook, right? That first intro line of your script. So now you basically take that video that you already have, and if you're using Platinum tools, the video stays saved, right? So you can actually duplicate that video multiple times and just change that first intro line, okay, with something else that's going to create curiosity. Just 3 different unique hooks that will pick curiosity. Now you test again. So launch 3 ads with each one of those videos, and then look at that CTR link, that cost per click, to pick the best one. And I'll move on to phase number 3, where you're just swapping out the intro scene, right? So actually not swapping out, because you don't have any intro scenes at this stage yet. So now you're adding that intro scene, and you're going to test that. Okay, so then you do 3 different videos with that best script, the best hook, and you're just testing out 3 different intro scenes. Okay, then you launch three ads, right? Each one with each video, and then you look again at your KPIs, pick the best one, and move on to phase 4. So phase 4, you're going to, now you already have your winning script, your winning hook, your winning intro scene. So now it's time to actually add the rest of the scenes to your video, complete your video, finish, edit, make it really good. And now you're done, basically. Now you can actually launch 3 ads with that video, that completed video. And the goal at phase 4 is actually to find a good pocket of traffic. That's why you're launching 3 ads of the same exact ad 3 times to see which one has the best pocket of traffic. And once you have some data coming in, then you can actually turn off the 2 that have the worst KPIs and keep the one with the best KPIs. Now, during these phases, guys, you're not spending a lot of money. So for phase 1, really, if you spend like $30, $20, that's all you need, okay? You don't have to spend a lot of money during these phases. The goal here is just to understand what the CTR, just to be able to see the CTR link, the cost per click for each script. So $20 is enough, 20, 30. Same thing for the hook, right? The phase 2, then you're just spending a little bit of money there. Same thing for phase 3. Okay, now phase 4, you can spend a little bit more money, because now you have your video completed. Now your video is done and it's ready to go. So that this is when you want to start spending $100, $200 starting out. Okay, but keep in mind that phase 1, 2, 3, you can actually turn off a lot sooner. At $20 spend, it's just for you to be able to see which script, hook, and intro scene have the best CTR link, view rate, and cost per click. Okay, so the next slide here is basically just showing you how that journey is going to look like, right? So if you look here, the first starting out, you have 3 ads, right? Each one with each script 1, 2, and 3. And then let's say script 1 had the lowest cost per click. Okay, so now I know that that script is the best script. Then now I'm going to take that script 1 only, and I'm going to test out 3 different hooks. Okay, and then hook B had the best metrics. Now I'm taking script 1 and hook B, and I'm just creating 3 different videos with just 3 different scenes, intro scenes. And I have my intro scene C here is the best one. And now I have my winning video, right? I have script 1, hook B, intro scene C are the best, is that winning combo. And now I finalize my video. I add the rest of the scenes, I launched 3 more ads, exactly the same, no difference between the 3 ads. And the goal here is just to find a good pocket of traffic. And then I can turn off the 2 ads that don't have the KPIs are not so good, keep the one that has good metrics, and that's the winning ad there, okay? Anything to add, Robbie? Did I miss anything here?
Yeah, this is great. Yeah. So guys, let me know in the chat if this is making sense so far. I know obviously it's a lot of information to take in, and this will start to, like I said before, I've said many times, this will start to make more and more sense as you start to get your campaigns running, as you can start to see your videos going, data coming in. But these are great visuals for you guys to understand, hey, what's working and what's not working, right? So basically script number 1, there's 3 different hooks to it. And then from there, you find, hey, this intro scene works. Then you find the winning video, and then you can go from there to keep the winning ad. So yeah, this is great stuff. And guys, as I said before, like, I fully expect that first video that you put together may not be the winner, right? And so it takes time to test. As I mentioned, many times, like in the Facebook training, the YouTube training, it's like fishing, right? Sometimes, you cast your line out into the water, and sometimes, you think you have some good bait and you feel like it's a good bait, but you don't catch any fish, right? And so that doesn't mean fishing doesn't work, right? Of course, fishing works. You just have to get the right bait and the right combination to catch that fish. And so same thing happens with these, with what we're doing with the videos. So yeah, great stuff. Let's keep going.
Yeah, guys. And I mean, you'll notice too, sometimes even with just launching the script without any scenes at all, sometimes you get sales from that. I mean, I have had that happen many times where I'm just launching that and I get sales, and I'm like, well, that, then I know for sure, well, this is a good script because I haven't even done any scenes. I haven't even added my video, made it look really nice, and I'm already getting sales. So people are actually just basically, right, listening to what I have to say with the scripts, because there are no distractions with scenes. And once if you have a sale, one of those scripts, then you really know that script has a lot of potential. Okay, so yeah, this will make more sense once you start to actually create your videos and write your different scripts and come up with some different hooks. Okay, but let's keep going. So now we're going to talk about, right, let me go back here to the outline. So we talked about some data analysis, right, the key performance indicators. We talked about finding your way to a winning ad. Now let's just actually show you an example, right, of let's jump in. Let's go here in Google Ads and show you some examples of metrics videos, so you can start to understand what that look at the data and see what each one means. Okay, so here in Google Ads, you can actually customize your columns too. I'm just going to show you how to do this really quickly. You can customize your columns so that you can see the metrics that matters, right? That you want to see. So cost per conversion, the view rate, right? You can customize and choose that metric. You can choose cost per click, CTR link. So different options in here for you to pick. Okay, let's look at it. View through. Oops, there we go. So you can click on performance here and choose average CPC, cost, clicks, impressions, whatever metrics you want to see, CTR, average CPM, okay? You can move them around here, and you can even save them. I already have one saved here, but you can save it so that you don't have to do this again, okay? So it's nice. Just if you're coming from Facebook, if you're seeing some of the Facebook videos already, or you already launched campaigns in Facebook, Facebook has the ability to do the same thing, right? You can customize your metrics there too. So same thing here with Google. All right, so like we talked about, the key performance indicators for your video ads are going to be your average cost per click, right? Your CTR and your view rate. Okay.
Yeah, actually, Coach Mara, do you mind? Can you make the screen a little bit bigger? If you just hit Command plus on your keyboard, I think we can zoom in on the. Some people are saying they can't see the numbers that much. Yeah, do a couple more times. There we go. There we go. Now we can see it. Perfect. Is that better, guys? Awesome. Cool. People saying yes. Cool. Awesome.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So here we can see the key performance indicators, and right, like all of these are above the KPIs that we talked about. And this is how you can analyze. So let's say that you have 3 different videos in here, like we have tons of different videos in here. And some of these they're not within the benchmark, right? Let's say I'm trying to find one here that is, all of these are actually pretty good, but Yeah, so basically, guys, if you see the data here and your benchmark, right, is videos below those benchmarks, and you have another one that's actually giving you better metrics, then all you have to do is just pause the one that is not doing well and then continue with the one that is doing well. Okay. Then here as well, we can see the cost per conversion. Okay. And that gives you an idea too as well of, you know, the profit, right? What your ROI is going to look like, how well this ad is converting, this video is converting. So super, super helpful metric here. It might not be 100% accurate. So you do want to look in commonly, right? For to make sure that you're looking at the correct cost per conversion or cost per purchase. Because here in Google, sometimes not all data, not all the sales may be shown in Google. So make sure that you're looking commonly to make sure you have the right data there. You're seeing the right the right cost per conversion. Okay, guys. But yeah, so this is how you can actually look at your data here and analyze and make sure that you know exactly what ads are performing better. Now, there's a cool thing here where you can click on videos as well here on the left, and you can analyze each video as well. And it's just really cool because you see, right, and in the other screen, I was inside the campaign, inside the ad group, and then you were seeing all the ads for that campaign. So duplicates of these same ads. But in here, inside in the videos tab, you can actually analyze each video by itself, and you can see how the view rate changes for each one, the CTR, right? So you see here, there's a loser here, right, with low CTR. Let's see what the view rate is, 9.98% view rate. So obviously that's not a good video there. And yeah, so 18% here, right? 18% is a little bit lower than what we want it to be. CTR low as well, okay? So this helps you to just analyze all the videos that you have inside the campaign, or you can actually filter so that it shows all the videos you have inside all campaigns as well, okay? So super helpful to be able to come in here and look at that and see how each video is performing. And guys, one of the things that you want to make sure that you're not doing though is analyzing your video, you know, if you only spend a few dollars, right? Like $5 spent, you really don't want to take, if you have a low view rate, a low CTR, and you only spend $5, you're most likely your metrics are most likely going to be really bad because you just spent $5, right? You didn't spend enough money to analyze that, to really accumulate enough data for that video. So you want to make sure that you have a good amount spent so that you're not making decisions too soon, right? You're not making any assumptions, okay? So that's really important to understand. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's go back to that. Go back to that one more time. I want to show something, guys. So, and just so you guys know, this is real data from an actual winning campaign. So you can see that, you know, we spent over $100,000 on this campaign, and you can see there was over like 1,400. Go ahead. What are you gonna say, Coach Mariah?
Yeah, I was just gonna say this is the $103,000 just in this video here alone. Yeah.
Yeah. And so you can see this is like a winning. This, you know, when we talk about like different scenarios, guys, when we go back, you know, and obviously you can watch the replay of this video and this workshop here. But, you know, the thing is, I was gonna say is that, you know, you can see like real data here, like, you know, obviously in this campaign and this, you know, this account, we were, you know, trying to find that winning video. Once we found it, boy, we started to spend, you know, quite a bit of money on that one video, over $100,000. And you can see it meets the criteria where the view rate was over 20%, which is great. That's what we want to have. We had, you know, our click-through rate was at 3%, which is what, because I think we said what 1% is good, so 3% is even better. Okay, so you know, our cost per click was under $1.25, it was 87 cents. So right here we have a winning video, and so that's the reason why we were able to scale up as much as we did.
Yep, that's right. Yeah. So yeah, and guys, when it's really easy to scale on YouTube. Okay, so we'll talk about scaling in the next training, but you'll see how easy it is once you actually find that winning video. Then basically, to actually start making a lot of money, it doesn't really take that much work. It does, you know, and you can find that winning video really fast, and it can take a little bit of time, and it's different for everybody, right? So If you launch your first campaign, your second campaign, and you're still not there, don't get discouraged. It can take a little bit of time, but while you're doing it, you're getting better at creating your videos, and you're giving Google more data, right? More pixel data, and they're optimizing the traffic for you. So all of these things are happening at the same time. And it's every single ad that you launch, it's just one step closer for you to find that winning video. And then once you do, and now you can start scaling and making a lot of money, okay, really fast, right? Yeah. All right, anything else to add to that, Robbie? Or
no, this is great. Yeah. So guys, just so you know, I wanted to show you like a real life example of what that, view rate and stuff does. Now, I know for some of you guys, maybe be like, oh my gosh, like $100,000. I don't have $100,000. That's okay. You don't need $100,000 right now, because as we mentioned, you're going to start really small, a couple, $20 a day, $30 a day. And when you find those winning numbers and you start getting sales in, you're going to reinvest those sales back into your ad spend. And that's how you're able to scale up. Okay. So just know that every single person, myself included, Coach Mariah, Coach Stephanie, we all start every campaign the same way. Low spend, get it working, get the numbers going. Once the numbers work, we get sales coming in, we reinvest those sales into ad spend, and that is how we're able to scale up. Okay, so just kind of keep that in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you want to start small. Okay, so start with small budgets. Get the feel for Google. It is, like we said in the previous training, Google can spend your money very, very fast. So you want to make sure that you're not you're starting out really slow so you can get the feel for it. You play around with the target CPA and all that stuff. And at the same time, you're getting better and better with creating your video ads. And then once you feel more comfortable, you can start spending a little bit more money to test more and more videos, and then find your winning video. And once you start scaling, like Robbie said, you're not going to start scaling if you're not making money, right? If you're not profitable, you're not going to start spending more money, right? So all that that spent that you see, don't let that scare you, because it's basically you're making a lot of money here, right? As a matter of fact, the average order value for this product is 120. So that's the profit here is about 60% ROI here, right? So it's important to know that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and keep moving on. So now that we talked about data analysis, how to find your way to a winning ad, let's talk about campaign optimization, okay? So let's go over campaign optimization. What is campaign optimization? So basically, it's the process of improving the performance of your campaigns, right? By making adjustments, testing new things in order to maximize your ROI, okay? So the most common mistakes people make is making assumptions and not having enough data, right? So you do want to, before you even think about optimizing your campaign, you need to make sure that you have spent enough money there to really be able to analyze the data and know for sure what's good and what's bad. And for example, to give you an example, if you spend $100 in the US in country, right? And you're targeted US and you don't have a sale, that doesn't mean that US is not a good country to target, right? So make sure that you understand that when you're analyzing, optimizing your campaign, analyzing data, you're not making assumptions too early on, okay? That you're looking at a good amount of data, right? Good amount of ad spend in order to decide what's good, what's not good, what you shouldn't really do, and what you should do, okay? So the way that we optimize the campaign, why we optimize it, right? We start with collecting and analyzing data. Then we can refine, by doing that, we start to refine our marketing strategies. And then we increase traffic, we make cost-effective decisions, right? We start to optimize the campaign and spend the money where we're getting the most cost-effective results from, and then we improve ROI by doing that, okay? So keep in mind that Google is always learning and it's constantly optimizing your campaign for you. So even if you do not optimize your campaign, if you don't do anything, Google's constantly doing that for you. The more data you give Google, you give the pixel, right? The more that it gets optimized and the more that your traffic gets dialed in, okay? So even if, like I said, you know, a lot of times the campaign just takes off and you don't have to do anything other than just keep watching and playing around with the budget, right? And that's just Google doing all the heavy lifting for you, okay? But let's just talk about some of the optimization strategies, okay? So we talked a little bit about video ad, right? So what I mean by that, how do you optimize your video? Well, by testing out different hooks, right? Different interest themes and making those metrics that we talked about even better, right? Having, you know, swapping out the interest theme can improve your cost per click, right? We talked about that. So testing out those different variables can improve your KPIs, right? And then once you actually, now let's say that you have tested, you have 3 different things going on right now, 3 different videos, then you want to analyze your data and see which ones are actually the worst performers, right? Which ones have the lowest cost per, which one has the lowest cost per conversion, and you want to keep doing that and actually stop doing the ones that are the worst performers, the ones that are more expensive, the higher cost per click, that you're not making, the ROI is not so good. So that's how you want to optimize your videos, right? So you test, but I see a lot of people do this, guys, like they test a lot of things and then they don't look at the results from the test, and they just keep doing the same thing over and over again without actually analyzing the test and understanding how to trim the fat, right? See what's working, what's not working, and stop doing what it's not giving you the best results and focus on what's giving you the best results. And that's how you can optimize your campaign and have better, improve your ROI, okay? Then demographics, right? Same thing here. You can analyze your how your ads are performing by country, by age, by gender, even household income, and you just want to be careful here, guys, because if you're doing that too early on, right, you might be making assumptions, right? So be careful with trimming. You know, stop targeting a certain age group or a certain household income, thinking that, okay, I spent $1,000 and I'm not getting as many sales from this particular category and I'm going to stop doing it. You do need to have a good amount of data when you're analyzing demographics before you start to optimize your ads for very specific demographics, okay? And then location, same thing here. You can look at the countries, right? And you can also look at where your ads are being spent. So you can look in YouTube, you can go through the list of where your ads are being displayed on, and you can actually optimize for that too. You can stop targeting. There's a way that we're gonna cover. Actually, we talked about it in the last video where you can exclude your audiences, right? You can exclude certain channels that you don't want your ads to be displayed on. So you can even look at that. I normally don't, to be honest with you. I just let Google do its thing. But these are the options. These are the things that you can actually do and optimize your campaign for. Okay. And then devices, right? Mobile versus iPad versus desktop. So you can actually look at that data as well, see where your ads are getting the best results from, and optimize for that. Let's say that desktop, you're not getting sales, you have a high cost per conversion rate there, then you can start advertising just for mobile, okay? And audiences, you can also test different audiences, you can test different interest groups, some custom segments, right? Keywords. You can test fraud, and now that you have tested these different audience groups, you can compare them, see how they are performing, right? Which audiences are giving you the best results, and then you optimize for that audience. Meaning, if you're having a $50 cost per sale for broad and an $80 cost per sale for interest, you might just want to spend your money, your budget with broad alone, right? Because that's producing the best results. Okay. And ads shown, that's where I just talked about this. So ads shown is basically how you can go in and see where your ads are being displayed, on what channels, YouTube channels your ads is being displayed, and you can actually analyze and see the cost per sale for that as well. Okay. So let's go to Google here and look at some of that, of the analytics here. Let's go ahead and click on campaigns. Devices. Here we go. Okay, so here for devices, this is where you can actually see mobile versus tablets, computers, right? You can see all that data here. Okay, then we have locations here. Let's look at that. Right there, you can see countries, right? So you can play around with this, and it's going to give you a lot of data here. Content, we can actually go into where ads showed and see, also see here where your ads are getting displayed, your YouTube channel. And remember, you can customize the columns, right, to show the data that you want. So you can analyze by how much, what your cost per conversion is, right, for each of these countries here, channels, and your how much YouTube is spending, how much Google is spending on each one alone, right? And you can, if you see that your Google is spending a lot of money on a specific one and you're not getting a good cost per conversion for that particular channel, there's a way that you can actually exclude that, right? Anything else, Robbie?
No, this is great, guys. Let me know in the chat. Has this been helpful so far? Because we're covering a lot of stuff. We're actually, we're actually showing you inside one of my campaigns that we ran pretty recently, actually, earlier this year. And so it's just great to see like real data in terms of how everything works and costs and everything. So, and you can see like from the breakdown, I mean, it's pretty interesting to see if you go back to where it was, where you just were there, Coach Mariah. If you go back to placements, I think it was. Where were you?
Right here.
Our devices. Yeah, there you go. So you can see, like, if you look at the where most of the stuff was being spent, for example, $83,000 was spent on mobile, which is really interesting. Conversions were pretty high in that range. Some stuff were spent on tablet and computers, and that's one of the nice things about YouTube is that we target very broad, right? So we're not targeting specifically mobile, but it kind of YouTube and the algorithm is so smart, it kind of figures it all out for you, which is cool because then you can see based on your conversions, you can see your cost per conversion. For example, on mobile it was $72. Tablets is kind of interesting because that's $59. Cost per conversion, view rates were really, really good on tablet as well. So, that's something if later on you want to really narrow down, you can just target tablets and do well with that. So it's just good to kind of go through and analyze your data and see what is being spent where and how that is responding. But this is great. And you can see that chart as well that shows you everything, which is really cool as well. So yeah, this is great. Yeah, I see everyone in the chat saying this is awesome, very helpful. Yeah, because sometimes it's hard to like understand stuff, but when you see a real like live, real campaign that's been running, then you go, oh, okay, I got it. This makes sense. So yeah, this is great. Good stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Okay. So yeah, so now guys, I think we're done, right? Let's look at the let's go back to the outline here. Yeah, we basically covered data analysis, how to find your way to a winning ad, campaign optimization, and now we're ready for some questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So one of the questions, someone's asking if they're having trouble setting up Commently. Yeah. So make sure you guys go back and refer to the Commently documentation that is in Project Platinum, but also is in Commently itself, because Commently has tons of documentation on how to get set up. It's important you guys do that for sure. And then obviously, if you have some issues, just chat in with support for Commently, like Commently support, not Project Platinum support, and they'll be more than happy to help you out with stuff as well. Another question I'm seeing here, someone's asking like how much money they need to spend per day to start on their campaigns. I know we answered this in the past, but Coach Mariah, what would you say about that?
Yeah, I would say, you can start with as little as $100. And that's what I would suggest, that you start with lower budgets, and keep in mind, right, and we said that multiple times, but keep in mind that Google can actually spend more than your daily budget, okay, starting out, right? So even though if you have $100 when you're still trying to figure it out what that target CPA is going to be, a lot of times they might just spend a little bit more money in the beginning. So I would not suggest that you start with higher budgets. Definitely start out slow so that you can get a feel for how it's spending your money, right? Because it can spend really fast too. So you want to make sure that you have that target CPA adjusted before you start to feed more budget. Okay, so yeah, I would say even as little as $100 a day, you're good to go. But if you're actually during the testing phase here that we talked about, with scripts, these guys, like, you're not even $20 and not even that, right? It's just really, really small tests where you're just trying to understand from the all the different things that you're testing, which one is giving you the best results so that you can come up with that winning combo. So here you're not even spending $100 for each of these individual tasks here. You're spending maybe $20, $15 really. So this is just quick spin here just to get the idea of how each of these variables are performing until you find your winning video. And now when you find your winning video, you can feed a little bit more budget, $100, and see how that's going to perform.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a good thing to say there because because one of the big differences too, from Facebook to YouTube is, Facebook's, for example, if you say, hey, I have an ad set and I only want to spend $25, like, it'll only spend $25, right? Sometimes it'll spend a little bit less. Whereas with YouTube, it's if you set it at $25, especially in the beginning, as it starts to kind of figure things out, it may spend $60, right? And so it's really important that you just kind of keep an eye on things. And I would say when you get things going initially on your YouTube campaigns is to monitor it at least hourly initially, just to kind of keep an eye on things. I mean, Coach Mariah, you had an experience where you had set something up in the account and it was, I think your budget was what, $3,000, something like that. And it spent it like very, very quickly.
Yeah, in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
$2,700 in 30 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah. So thankfully she was keeping an eye on stuff and she was able to, kind of, stop it from spending anymore. But that's one of the things you need to pay attention to, especially on YouTube initially. After the, you have conversions on there, and after it's kind of found its bearing, you have your target CPA, all that stuff. Then that doesn't happen as much. But I'm telling you guys, it's important to keep an eye on it, just to avoid things like that, because there's nothing worse than like logging into your account and be like, oh, geez, it spent way more than I wanted it to. So. Yeah. That's important. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Let's see here. What else we got?
I see someone asking here about audiences and how do you see, where your what age group is performing better and gender. So that's a great question, guys. So you can go into your campaign here and click on audiences. Let's go audiences here. And if you're testing out different audience segments, keywords, interests, you can actually see that data in here as well, okay, by audience performance. But here for demographics, right, because this campaign is actually just targeting broad, okay, so I don't have any audience segments or any data here to show you for that. But if you're targeting broad, then you can still see how your metrics for each age here. Gender, house income, and parental status. You can also change this same thing that I was showing you with the graphs, right? On the other screen, you can also actually look at cost per conversion and different metrics, guys, and then analyze that for each of age group. Let's change that to gender. Even house income. Okay, if you want to see the table, like I said, I'm not, I like graphs, but I prefer tables a little bit better. Just click on here, and now you can see by each of those demographics what your cost per conversion is and your view rate. And if you want to add more metrics, more columns in here with other metrics, you can do that again by clicking columns and modifying your columns here. So this is where you would go to analyze by age group. You can select one campaign individually if you want to see the data for only one campaign, or you can analyze all your campaigns at once. Okay.
Yeah, good stuff. Awesome. I see someone else asking here in the chat about YouTube Shorts, and if we're going to cover YouTube Shorts at all. What do you think about that, Coach Brian?
Yeah, so YouTube Shorts, basically, guys, if your video is actually lower than less than 1 minute, and you create a campaign with that video, it automatically will be displayed on YouTube Shorts as well. Yeah, so there's nothing extra that you actually need to do in terms of setting it up, but your video needs to be less than 1 minute. So that it will be displayed for video shorts, and it's definitely something that you want to try, right? But I would recommend just start out with, try to find your winning video first, right? If that's a 2-minute long video, that's okay. Just find your winning video first, and then once you have that winning video, you can actually make it shorter and test out as as shorts for sure.
Yep, exactly. Awesome. Let's see here. Other stuff we got going on. Let's see. Well, let's go ahead and give them the homework too as well while we're seeing some more questions come in. Yeah. So guys, really, straight out, what I want you guys to do is, if you haven't got your campaign set up yet, make sure you guys do that. And if you do have it and you have data coming through it, take the time to analyze your campaigns, get familiar with everything. Rewatch this training if you have to, because it's important to understand the data that's coming in, so that way you can make decisions based on that data, right? Also, if you want to get some new videos testing, I know right now we had to do one video, but it's always good to have multiple videos using what Coach Mariah talked about with the different scripts and hooks and how you can do those sequences and test those things out very quickly, which is good. And you can use the same video and just change out the intros, or do multiple intros and test those out in terms of your hooks, because remember that first 30 seconds is really important in the video, and that'll be something to do. So that's your homework. Now, obviously, if you haven't done the homework from the previous weeks, make sure you guys get that done. It's so important you try to keep up with us as we go along here, because we want this 6 weeks to be very productive for you. So that way, after the 6 weeks is done, you're already rocking and rolling. Okay. So good stuff there. So let's see other questions.
I think I see one. I think someone's asking, do you have to start a new campaign every time you want to test something different? No, not really. You can actually create new ads inside the same campaign. You don't have to start a new campaign at all. So you can continue using the same campaign, the same ad group, and just create new ads to test new videos.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yep, for sure. Let's see what else we got here for questions. I'm just looking through the chat. A lot of questions you already answered. Someone's asking, like, should we target like certain placements, like just do mobile only, or should we, do like just automatic placements?
I would recommend that you just start out broad, right? Just let Google do its thing. But now, can you actually test out and target mobile? You can do anything you want in terms of audiences. You can start, you can narrow down your audiences. However, a lot of times when you do that, it can cause a high CPM. So CPM is just basically how much Google charges you for 1,000 impressions, right? So that more narrow that you make that audience, the more expensive it can be. And sometimes it's just better for you to start a campaign broad and let it optimize, let Google optimize the campaign for you. Now, especially if you're in a niche like weight loss niche, right? Or a product, you're promoting a product that has a mass appeal, right? So that in a situation like that, broad works really, really well. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I would recommend just start broad, target, just narrow down by age group, 30, 35 plus, right? And if you're promoting weight loss, you can even start out with all genders. Okay. You can still get really good results for men as well, and let the Google optimize it for you.
Yep, exactly. Yep, for sure. Yeah, great question there. I see some other people asking about, private coaching. Yeah, so we talked about that, guys, before, but once again, if you're interested in getting access to a private coach, you can certainly do that. You can go to projectplatinum.com/1-on-1 to schedule a call with my team, and they'll give you all the information on how you can get started. Whether you want to learn, Facebook one-on-one, or if you want to do YouTube one-on-one, we can offer that for you guys as well. So make sure you go there and apply. We have had quite a few people over the last few weeks apply and get started with private coaching, which is great. So I would say if that's something you're interested in doing, definitely don't hesitate, because, it's not like, scarcity where it's like, we're never going to offer this again. Of course we will. But the only thing is that every coach only has a certain amount of spots on their calendar. And so, when everyone's spots are filled up, then you have to go on the waiting list, right? And so, if you really want to get up and running on this quicker, then definitely, go there, set up a call on my team, and they can walk you through the entire process. And so, and as far as waiting list goes, we definitely, it definitely happens, right? Right, Coach Mariah, you have a waiting list right now to work with you.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. If you're interested in private coaching, I would say just find out more right now. Click on the link here, because there's definitely a waiting list right now. So for sure, and it's if you're like Robbie, we mention this all the time. When you have everything that you need, we teach everything in the training here. So that you can actually make money, right? But private coaching, it can help you achieve those results a little bit quicker, right? And what I mean by that is, well, you're not going to have, you're still going to have issues, right? But having someone that has already been through those issues helps you just move on faster, right? It just helps you just solve these issues a little bit quicker, because now there's someone helping you overcome all these issues. Okay, so it's definitely a great investment if you're interested in coaching.
Yep, absolutely. Awesome. So I'll put that link in the chat, guys, for you as well. And let me know, guys, in the chat, how many people have actually applied for coaching. Let me know, because it is important that you guys want to get extra help. We have it available to you. Yeah. Wow. I see a lot of people that said they're applying for it or have already applied. A few people here. Jack said he just signed up for it, which is awesome. Looks like Cheryl's also jumped in, which is cool. Great. Awesome. That's good to see. Let's see what other questions we have. Anything else you see, Coach Mariah?
No, I think just someone asking, like, can I post if my results in the group, my KPIs in the group to get some additional help? Absolutely, you can do that. You should do that. That's what the group is for, right? Ask your questions, post your results, and we can help you move along, make sure that you're on the right track and you know exactly what to do. And so that you have, you're finding your way to a winning campaign, and you're profitable, making money. So that's what the group is there for. So definitely go ahead, post your results, and we can help you there for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Absolutely. Use that group. That group is the reason why we did it. It's to kind of supplement what's going on here during the 6 weeks. Obviously after the 6 weeks, you can certainly keep posting questions in the group and we'll help you answer them. But now's the time to make sure you guys get those questions answered. So yeah, definitely if you want to have post your stats and things like that, please do, because we want to see you guys make that happen for sure. So awesome. So, all right, guys, well, we are, we've been on here for over an hour now. And so I know we covered a lot of stuff. And what I want to do is we'll go ahead and end today's workshop. So a couple things, guys. First of all, make sure you get the homework done. If you haven't, completed the previous weeks, make sure you guys do that as well. Also, if you're interested in private coaching, again, make sure you guys go to that link. Just go to the projectplatinum.com/1-on-1. And then you can set up call my team. And then also make sure you guys tune in for next week, which is week number 6, the last week of the masterclass. And it's going to be another action-packed week. We're going to talk about scaling up your campaigns and some other cool stuff too. So that's it for Coach Mariah. That's it for me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your week. And also make sure you guys, if you want the replay of this, it'll be in the members area. Also, it'll be in the guide section of the Project Platinum Facebook group. So that's it for us, guys. Hope you have a great rest of your day, and we'll talk to you soon.